Colonel Krummrich, you are a senior staff officer in Central Command, and you're testifying that President Biden ignored the military advice of 3 4-star generals, General Miller, General McKenzie, and General Milley, correct?
That is correct.
And it's safe to articulate that our soldiers, their loved ones, were asked to do 2 conflicting missions: to completely get everything out as fast as possible in a full withdrawal, but yet also facilitate an evacuation. Is that accurate, correct?
That is correct.
Sergeant Major, you're testifying that your best military advice on using Bagram instead of HKIA was also ignored. Is that correct?
That's not the way it happened, sir. We did not do it out of Bagram.
And on Bagram, and this is critical to the family sitting behind you, was the prison holding 7,000 of the most hardened terrorists, including the suicide bomber that killed their loved ones at Abbey Gate, correct?
That is correct, sir.
And were you aware of any contingency planning? The Afghans were guarding it, but they needed the base for power, for life support, for supplies. Were you aware of any contingency planning as the Taliban are closing in on Kabul to deal with those prisoners should that prison fall or should they be released? Were you aware of any contingency planning? Anyone?
I was not, sir.
And Colonel Krummrich, finally, I'll just ask you, were you aware of any contingency planning to deal with our SIVs, key Afghans like ministry officials, journalists, women, activists, people that the Taliban would obviously had targeted for 20 years and would continue? Were you aware, or, including, heck, our own U.S. citizens, any contingency planning as part of this rapid withdrawal to get those folks out should our assumptions that the Afghan government could hold and the military and the Afghan military would hold would fail? Any contingency planning along those lines?
No, and it became very painfully obvious under extreme duress how big of a gap that was.
So this was an utter lack of planning that their loved ones paid the ultimate price for, and that our Afghan allies right now today are being hunted down as we speak, are still paying the price for, and future American soldiers have to go up and to go back and clean up this mess as we've had to do in Iraq from the Obama administration decisions. I mean, there's a direct causality there, in your opinion.
There is.
Thank you. And what would happen to a leader in the military who ignored intelligence and failed to plan, in this case till the day before, resulting in troops killed? What would happen?
They would get court-martialed.
How does it make you feel that not a single official has resigned, been relieved, been court-martialed, even laterally transferred? Heck, how does that make you feel?
Terrible, and I would like one to take responsibility. You know, when JFK had the Bay of Pigs, he came out and said, "The buck stops with me." You know, I am
not only they're not taking responsibility, President of the United States saying it's outstanding success, so it should at least Secretary Blinken, with the State Department in charge of this operation, in your opinion, at least resign? He's not going to be fired by the president. Should he at least resign?
I can't speak of what he should do, but I would say that senior leaders definitely need to be held accountable in that organization.
Well, they're not under this administration, Colonel, but this committee will not let this go. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your indulgence, both chairmen, and to our families. We will not let this go. As long as I sit in this seat, we will drive accountability for you and for your loved ones. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Waltz.